This is one of those songs. It's still, after 40-something years of listening to this and playing it, it still takes my breath away. The lyrics, the overall sound, the songwriting craft, Joni's voice, of course, and also James Taylor's guitar, which is a really lovely contribution. Although this arrangement is much more an adaptation of Joni's original Appalachian dulcimer part. She plays a three-string dulcimer that's lap-mounted and she strums it. And the chords I'm using here aim to capture somewhat the sound of her dulcimer, although of course little bits of James Taylor's guitar will creep into the arrangement too. So we're going to talk about the chord shapes. I've got a capo on the first fret. I might regret this because obviously the chord shapes go up and it's quite easy to get a little bit lost up there, but for now I'm going to persevere. This puts me in the original key, and I'm a bit of a stickler for keys if you've watched my videos before. So let's look at the chord shapes, then we'll talk about the form, and then we'll crack on and play through every part of the song. Now, most of the chord shapes I'm going to be using are built around a simple idea of a bass note on the 5th string and a melody note on the 2nd string, and added to that we've got an open 3rd string. So what's happening here is that I'm playing a scale of C on the 2nd string and also on the 5th string. And if we put those together, then we get octaves and thirds. So these pairs of notes are an octave and a third apart. And then if we add that open 3rd string, those are our shapes. I might be a bit inconsistent with the naming when I put these up on the board. This is my C chord. Is this G7 over D? Is this D minor? Is this an E minor? Is this C over E? I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. With the addition of the G, so for instance, it's F chord here. That's an F. Add 9, that A minor is an A minor 7. Take it with a pinch of salt. You'll see as soon as you see the fret numbers what you're supposed to be playing. You'll notice that when my fingers are 2 frets apart, and I've got the little finger up on the 2nd string all the time, when their fingers are 2 frets apart, I'm using my 1st finger on the 5th string. When they're only 1 fret apart, I'm replacing that with the 2nd finger. That's just good housekeeping for guitarists. Helps to move smoothly. Now, just before we play through the intro, let's have a look at a picking style here. My thumb obviously is going to be on the 5th string. Sometimes it's going to come down to the 6th string. And my picking fingers, my 1st finger on the 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd string, they're going to stay there. And I'm coming down with a light tap on the backbeat. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. That kind of a thing. I won't be too rigid about this and we'll probably change it up. And actually, as you'll see, sometimes we have bars with only 2 beats in and things get anticipated and pushed. So watch out for that. But that's the basic idea. Okay, here comes the intro. The intro is an 8-bar section that repeats after each chorus, and there are 3 choruses. So we get this intro 4 times in total. So it forms a big part of the song. It's worth getting under your fingers straight away. It's going to be a bit dull, me calling out the chord shapes, but you'll see the shapes on the screen and the approximate rhythmic placement. But listen to the music, I'm sure you will, and you'll see how the rhythm is a little bit pulled. These chords are pushed forward or pulled forward by half a beat to create a sense of anticipation. We start with our C and then we go up to the F chord on the 8th fret after 2 beats. Now it's up to the A minor on the 12th, to the G on the 10th, and then back to the A minor. So okay, then we go down to the F again, to the C over E, to G7 over D, and now we get C again, G over B, C, and now it changes. We get down to our A minor, so we say goodbye to the little finger on the 2nd string, and we finish with, as my bass note is now on the 6th string, so we get, and we hear that little lick quite a lot actually. All right, the whole thing very slowly. Okay, just a little note, the C over E, I'll get a little bit of that. You can kind of hear that at least one time when she does it. I'm just sliding, particularly the note on the second string. So up to speed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and into the first verse. So the first verse at least, is in two separate sections, I guess. We'll tackle the first 9 bars first, and it's like this. Okay, C to G over B, and then 2 bars of our A minor 7. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, back to this, G7 over D. Constantly in the darkness to the C chord. Where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. So that last little bit there is exactly the same as the end of the intro. So the whole of that first half, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. Constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. And the second half begins exactly the same way. On the back of a cartoon coaster, 2 bars of A minor 7 in the blue TV screen light. I drew a map of Canada. Okay, so far so good. Now it changes. Now we have, I guess it depends how you write it out, but for me this is a 2-beat bar. Oh, Canada. So our C chord to G over B, 1 beat each. Oh, Canada. To A minor, and our 2 bars of A minor 7 now become 2 bars of A minor. Thanks to James Taylor, we get this. And you can pick that as you like, but essentially I'm playing an A minor, and the note on the 3rd string descends by a fret every 2 beats. Oh, Canada. With your face sketched on it twice. That's it. So, with your face sketched on it twice. So let's have the whole of the first verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster in the blue TV screen light. I drew a map of Canada. Oh, Canada. With your face sketched on it twice. Oh, and we're into the chorus. Now, as we'll see, all the verses are a bit different from each other, but the chorus is the same every time. And it kicks off with a couple of new chord shapes, now with a bass note on the bottom string. This is one of the reasons I almost chickened out from using a capo. This is quite tricky, a bit of a squeeze here. I've got this F add 9, a 1st fret of the bottom string and the 2nd string, and then to my C over E, and then back to this F and this C over E. You're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. And then it carries on with much like the Oh, Canada kind of thing. We get, I could drink a case of you, darling. Okay, so that's C for a bar. And then we get another 2-beat bar, C, G over B to A minor for 2 bars. And still I'd be on my feet. oh, I would still be. And at that point, so we've had still be on my feet, oh, I would still be on my feet. So you can see how that intro passage is tacked onto the end. All right, let's have the whole of the chorus. You're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a piece of you, darling. I would still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet. Now, the second verse. For verses 2 and 3, there's no new material. It's just structured a little bit differently. Verse 2 is just like the first half of verse 1 played twice, except where in verse 1 we just have this A minor 7 sitting there for 2 bars, and later we get this descending chromatic thing. That's what we get for the first and second halves of verse 2, if that makes sense. I'll play it through and you'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm drawn to those ones that ain't afraid. 2, 3. I remember the time you told me, you said love is touching souls. Surely you touched mine, 'cause part of you pours out of me in these lines from time to time. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine, and so on. So let me just get into verse 3 while I'm at it. I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours, she knew your life, she knew your devils and your demons, and she said, go to him, stay with him if you can, but be prepared to bleed. Straight into the chorus. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine, stay so bitter and so sweet. Oh, there you go. Can't get enough of it. So we have the intro, verse, chorus with the intro tagged on the end, verse, chorus, intro tag, verse, which is half as long this time, chorus, intro tag, and the song ends with these 3 chords. That's a G chord, the F add 9 that we get from the beginning of the chorus, and the new chord here is just a straight B flat. Okay, and all that's a little bit tricky to find, so you'll need to practice that. So if I go from the intro as if it's played at the end of the final chorus, we get this. Now, one last little detail before we have a playthrough. On the original, just before these final chords, we hear something like this. That's what I'm going to play. It's not quite what Joni plays, but there's a little melody she plays on the dulcimer before we come in with those final chords. I'm going to harmonize a second string melody with notes on the 4th string, and I'm going to play 12 and 12, 10 and 10, 9 and 8, and 7 and 6. Okay, so if I go from the very end of the chorus bit, Okay, let's have a run through. I'm going to play the intro, just the third verse, chorus, intro tag to the outro, and maybe I'm going to include the widdly line thing in between if I'm feeling brave. 1, 2, 3, 4. I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours. She knew your life, she knew your devils and your demons. And she said, go to him, stay with him if you can, but be prepared to bleed. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You're so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you. Oh, darling, I would still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet. And that's it.